a shotgun rider, cruise through the country, maybe pulling all-nighter. Every little body needs a Clyde decider. Come on, baby, be my shotgun rider.
For this week's edition of Skip Scoop, you're outside the IU Hall Auditorium. We do an Athletes Award ceremony. It's pretty cool. I'm going to take you inside, complete with the red carpet. So check it out.
And and you can see you got all the athletes coming in here. They get all dressed up. They look forward to this event every year. And you can check out some of our guys here looking dapper in their duds here, Kyle. It sounds like we've got some Skip Scoop fans out there. The coaches are in attendance of this event too, and Coach Yatley.
Skip Scoop, baby, we're on it. It's Jade Grossman making his first appearance on Skip Scoop.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yes,
Change luck a little bit.
What did you think of the event?
Fantastic. I thought we needed substantially more baseball.
Of course, live performances, and as you can see here, the wrestlers getting after it with their interpretation of dance here, Kyle. And then it's all about the awards. It's all about recognizing what special athletes we have here at Indiana University and just how unique this show is. And what an event this is, the brainchild of Fred Glass, and bringing all the kids together at the end of the year and makes this place a special place.
We represent Indiana University with passion, appreciation, respect, and distinction. We are positive, responsible, inclusive, and integrated with our university. We are a part of something bigger than ourselves.
Skip, it really was a really neat event. For my first time attending it, a lot of people.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Suits, some dresses. People were looking good. Good event. Student athletes, I think, really enjoyed it.
Highlight for me was Sam Travis's red jacket.
That thing was pretty sharp, and you saw a picture of it. That's style right there.
Well, I always said what I want. I wondered what a Neanderthal would look like in a suit, and I saw that. Just kidding, Sam. But no, the guys were looking great, and I think he borrowed that jacket from Walker, is what I heard.
Well, then Walker's got some good style. But
Yes,
we got to address the lack of a scoop last week. Some angry emails, some angry phone calls. People weren't happy.
I didn't think taking a week off, given what was all the time and the time away from in our schedules, would create such an uproar. But boy, did it ever! But we got to show you folks, we weren't just sitting around and doing nothing. It was no secret. We didn't play real well in some of our stuff last weekend and the last week, and so we had to put a little extra time. Check this out, what I mean by a little extra time, and win. You want to see what poor effort looks like. This is outside. We're going to get it right. Practice this morning. And at 4:38 a.m. And I'll say, Kyle, we had, it was our 5 a.m. practice there, but we had a really sharp practice, and I think it really carried into the weekend, this past weekend, with the quality opponent that we had.
Yeah, the non-conference series victory over Georgia Southern. You got to talk about the starting pitching. Joey, Chad, Martin, and Kyle Hart. And Kyle Hart stood out the most, complete game shutout.
Yeah, we got 3 quality starts, and we've been getting quality starts, but not 3 put together like that. And we said a break in our conference schedule couldn't have come at a better time, just with where we were and needing to rest guys and hitting a little bit of a low spot there the few games. And like we said, we just thought it was coinciding with spring football last weekend. We thought we'd give up some touchdowns and extra points there. I think that's what our guys had in their head. But no, I was very pleased, and that's what we've really been looking for all year is getting 3 dependable starts. And I think coming out of that weekend, as you said, Kyle Hart, bringing home the freshman of the week in the Big Ten with his shutout performance, and Joey was Joey again. But yeah, the surprise and bright spot, I shouldn't say surprise because Chad is capable, but really giving us 6 strong innings on Sunday, and I think that's going to give us a shot in the arm as we complete the second half of the Big Ten season.
You mentioned Kyle Hart winning the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, the 4th different freshman from Indiana to win it this year, so that's
good news.
Good sign. And then you got Sam Travis now winning freshman. He's winning Player of the Weeks. Joey's winning Pitcher of the Weeks. Indiana bringing a lot of weekly awards from the conference office.
And again, we've said it. We're young, and it takes some time for those guys. So hopefully, as we like I said, we wind down the season here. These freshmen now start growing up a little bit. But yeah, we've got some talent in that class, but it's all about how you play on the weekends, and we're going to have an awesome test this weekend with Michigan.
And moving forward, the 8-game homestand end today. Familiar face for you, Miami, Ohio home series in the midweek. And then, as you mentioned, finally back on the road heading to Ann Arbor.
Yep, spoke with Dan Simons actually today, and working out the home and home series. But we're going to try to gear ourselves for the weekend and do the damage on that. And Rich Maloney will have the Wolverines ready to play against us. He always does. So our guys are ready. We're coming off beating 2 quality pitchers, I thought, this weekend, and so we're just going to try to prepare and set ourselves up for what will be a very, very challenging, but I think telling weekend across the Big Ten in general.
And if you look at the Big Ten standings, it's cluttered as it is usually. At this point in the season, everyone's played at least 12, so halfway there through the Big Ten season. Separating 2nd to 8th in the standings is just 2 games, so just another Big Ten year.
Nothing changes. Exactly, nothing changes.
And Skip, here's our first picture, a young little Hoosier.
Yeah, this comes from former Hoosier Sam Samardzija. Sam, good buddy of ours, and this is Rex Samardzija here, future baseball player, and specifically future Hoosier baseball player there. I used to love those big mag bats right there. You couldn't miss with those things. Sometimes I wish we would hit with those now.
Maybe you said you couldn't miss with them. We don't all have the athletic ability of you. I think
little Rex here does. It clearly shows there. We got all these questions about facilities, Kyle. I think this is pretty cool. This is Dr. Andy Hipskin and his lovely wife here. And you talk about the facility of all facilities. Check out him with his IU jersey there, number 13 nonetheless, there at the Coliseum. That's big time right there.
So we've had Skip Scoop pictures from the West Coast, the South, the North. I don't think this might be the first Europe picture.
We are going overseas
international.
Now with that. I love it. I love it. So that's a little Hoosier baseball in the Coliseum. That's big time right there. We tend to say that our guys are athletes, and they're multi-sport athletes. As you can look at this, fishing is a sport, isn't it?
Got a few Wranglers. It's on ESPN.
ESPN covers it. Our young Bill Dance wannabes right here. You got Kyle Schwarber there with a bass. Chad Clark, he's probably never touched a fish in his life, although his would be saltwater fish. And then Sam definitely looks like he's not going to touch it there. But the boys getting after a little fishing there. I like it. And sporting their IU gear to boot. So those are some quality pictures, and keep the pictures coming. Shall we do questions?
You may as well just roll right into them.
All right. I love it. This comes from Andy Martin, United States Merchant Marine Academy. Skip, how often does the team hit on the field for practice? Almost every day, Andy. We'll do some sort of hitting drills, but we try to get out because the hitting drills not only in practice are helping your hitters, but it gives the guys defensively, particularly the outfielders, good reads off the bat, and we can do some of our game-like base running off that. So we hit, I'd say probably at least 4 or 5 times a week on the field. So thank you for that. This comes from Rich from Woodbridge, Virginia. Skip, I just wanted to let you know, it looks like I've got a little PR thing here, Kyle. All the Hoosiers in the Washington, D.C. area know that the IU Alumni Club of D.C. is again organizing their Washington Nationals trip. If you want information on the Washington Nationals trip, to order your tickets, and it costs us pretty cheap, Kyle, $25, including $5 donation to the IU baseball softball complex. That's huge, so I want everybody out in the D.C. area to make sure you go to this game. Looks like the Nats is going to be June 2nd, the Nats versus the Atlanta Braves at Nationals Park. You can email Rich Leopold at rich.leopold@gmail.com, and I'm sure Kyle will do his fancy stuff with graphics and run that across the board. Last year they raised several $100s for our project, and much appreciated Rich and all the D.C. area alumni for that. Hey Skip, this comes from Mike G from Bloomington. I always love that G. When a ground ball gets by you at third base, would it be appropriate for the scoreboard to read E13? Well, Mike, let me tell you truthfully, you probably won't see E13 up there much because not a lot gets by me down there at third base. So, but yes, I think it would be appropriate if we went E13, but I try to get everything I can down there. I am getting a little older, and it is harder to get, but trust me, I'll make some stops down there, Mike.
And Skip, before we get going for the week, our friend from Virginia mentioned the facility, 7 days away from groundbreaking, May 1st.
Yeah, that's they're evaluating all the bids now. Bids came back. They're going through that process, but it's going to be groundbreaking early May. I am thrilled. I can't tell you the amount of time that we put in on this, but I can assure everybody out there, you're going to love it. Things are moving along on schedule, and it's going to be sharp. So come see us next, or come back to this site next week. We apologize again for the delay, but a little longer this week, but it's because you missed the 2 Skip Scoops. So we'll see you next week on Skip Scoop. Take care.